Hello, bankers. A very good evening to all of you. Welcome back. Welcome to another session. I hope I'm clearly audible and visible to all of you. So, quickly join in so that we can start our today's discussion. All right. So, yes, everything is fine from my side here. Durgesh sir, Ramaji sir, Subhash sir, we have Rani ma'am. Very good evening. I guess there is some issue with the application. Can you please confirm so that we can start the discussion? All good. Audio and video is fine, kya? So here in this particular session, all good. Chalo, thank you so much. Chalo. So in this particular session, we are going to revise our entire module D. So we will be doing a comprehensive revision around your module D itself, right? So things when it comes to the module D itself, the areas it is all about the balance sheet management and balance sheet management, which include are these many unit. First one is component of asset and liabilities. Then we have capital adequacy norms, asset classification and provisioning. We have liquidity management, we have interest rate risk, and we have RAROC and profit planning. So these are the areas or the topic which are generally part of our today's discussion itself, right? So when it comes to component of asset and liabilities in balance sheet, bank balance sheet, so there are 12 schedules and their management. So it is something which is linked with the asset liability management, that ALM things. Apart from this, significant of ALM, why ALM is important, and purpose and objective which we generally trying to achieve with this particular one. So when it comes to bank balance sheet, we have section, you remember that particular one, section 29 of BR Act, Banking Regulation Act 1949, which generally govern the preparation of balance sheet for a banking company. So this is the format of your balance sheet and this is the format of your profit and loss account, right? So preparation of profit and balance sheet आपका which generally include areas like we have 12 schedules. First आपका one, the capital, then we have reserve and surplus, minorities interest, deposit, borrowing, other liabilities. First five schedule related to capital and liability. The sources of funds, ठीक है, they are also known as sources of funds. When it comes to asset size आपका, ठीक है, so we have cash and balances with RBI, and we have balances with money and call notice, right? Then आपका, ठीक है, then the next one we have the next one is investments आपका. It is working fine on आपका others, and I guess this is for the second time in your entire course, हाँ श्रीकांत सर, थोड़ा सा कॉपरेट कीजिए, ठीक है. चलो, तो व्हेन इट कम्स टू योर इन्वेस्टमेंट आपका, ठीक है, एडवांसेस, वी हैव फिक्स्ड एसेट, अदर एसेट, वी हैव गुडविल ऑन कंसोलिडेशन, वी हैव debit balances, the total and the contingent liabilities itself, right? So we have these particular areas which are generally part of this particular one. So this is something key when it comes to the sources of funds. This is all about your sources of funds, and this is your application of funds. So application of funds aapka the another side of this particular one. So morning only we have gone through all these particular one, right? No, they'll not ask the schedule and other things aapka, right? Just aapka for a reference purpose. Okay, then we have your profit and loss account. Profit and loss account which include income, we have interest income and other income 13 and 14. Then we have expenditure aapka 15 and 16. Then we have aapka the profit and loss appropriation, so which generally include these particular areas. So this is some standing around these particular things, so that while we are like the when we are going for the ALM things aapka, so things can be managed aapka properly, right? So areas and your the different one, you do not have to do any sort of rectification around these particular one, but that's just for the understanding purpose, right? हाँ श्रीकांत सर, वेरी गुड इवनिंग. यू केम ऑन यूट्यूब आपका एंड यू जस्ट राइट अ नेगेटिव मैसेज एंड यू केम आपका ऑन एप्लीकेशन. Okay, so when we have to do आपका 5 hour session, we need some positive things. So this is my humble request. Like whenever you are doing anything, so do it with positivity. That is highly appreciated. So when it comes to your sources of funds, so we have these particular areas. Okay, this is your sources of sorry, these are the sources of funds, including those particular schedule, and this is how we are generally managed. So the basic fundamental is basically your borrowing for the purpose of lending. So borrowing for the purpose of lending, and the challenge what we generally face, कि we borrow for a short term deposit, like short term period, and we lend for a long term period, right? So due to this particular mechanism, sometimes there is आपका फंडिंग रिलेटेड एरियाज और इंटरेस्ट रिलेटेड रिस्क आपका, एंड देयर आर मेनी अदर थिंग्स विच वी हैव टू मैनेज आपका. We have to keep that pricing risk in the mind. So many risks which generally involve in this particular one. So that is something which generally comes under this. Rani ma'am, that is same section. Section 29 of BR Act only, which generally govern both the document. It is called Form A. When it comes to the balance sheet, it is called आपका Form A, performa balance sheet, and Form B is performa your performa profit and loss account. So that is something which generally comes under this. So both generally comes under the same area itself, right? Chalo. Now this we have discussed. Now the another part which we generally have when it comes to the expenditure side, sorry, in आपका profit and loss account, again form B of section 29, right? So it is 6 schedule are there, 13 and 14 which is related to income, and आपका expenses which is related to 15 and 16. Then finally we go for the profit and loss account. अब ALM is something की where we are managing all these particular things. So like all these particular things means where we have the balances between these two areas. Like so in general practice also, like there is a mismatch, ALM things आपका asset liability mismatch. There is a आपका we borrow at fixed rate, we lend at आपका floating rate, that is the another provision, or many other things. So these areas which generally create different type of risk in our banking portfolio, and how we generally manage those particular one, that is the game. So NII, the important factor from this particular one, and the another one is NIM, which is the another factor from this particular one, right? So that is something which generally comes under this. So this is something which generally comes under the entire areas. Srikant sir, just check your bank application now once and why are you arguing on this? And this has happened second time, I guess, in your entire course thing. These are very small thing, but see, I do care, so that's why these things trigger to me. That is, I'm frankly telling you, right? So I do care about all these particular things. I devote my everything for this to pass, like so that you can pass this examination. For this 1 minute things, if you are escalating that one, if you are not understood me so far, then there is the all things is kind of waste. I'll not argue on this particular one. If you are if you are still saying things, I am sorry for this particular delay. I'll pass on your message to the tech team itself, but they won't do anything because it is something which is natural. This is technology, bro. Okay. So now when it comes to this particular one, आपका asset and liability management and bank balance sheet component. So we have these particular areas. ALM involve only the short-term liquidity management of a bank and not like to the long-term strategic planning and all. This is wrong. So because see what happened when we go for the borrowing for the purpose of lending, that is something which generally comes under this particular part, right? So we are borrowing from the short term and we are आपका creating long term. So long term maturity panels which generally also get integrated in this one. Then we have ELCO, Asset Liability Committee. In the bank have significant authorities to influence the institutions आपका asset liability structure and the business alignment. That is true. Third statement is as per the BR Act 1949, commercial bank must prepare their balance sheet and profit and loss account in the format prescribed third schedule. That is also true. Then next one, just now we have gone through this particular one. Fourth one is in bank balance sheet, liabilities and net worth are classified as a application of funds. No. When it comes to liabilities and net worth, they are sources of funds, right? So this is aapka completely wrong. The next one is fixed asset investment and advances are considered uses of funds. That is aapka true. So means 235. 235 means option A will be right answer for this particular. You got it, guys? Like the how we generally change aapka the dynamics. So what contribute from the what sources and others, right? This is clear to everyone, guys. If you're having any doubt, please do let me know so I can help you out with that particular one. Next one. Which of the following statement regarding the classification of bank expenses are correct? So interest paid on participation certificates and penal interest are included under the interest on deposit. So what will be your correct statement for this one, guys? Everyone, try. Saraj sir is saying option B. Okay. The next one, when it comes to advertisement, publicity charges and their related printing expenses fall under the operating expenses. The first, it should come under the other income. This is aapka true. Provision for bad debts and taxation are not considered part of the operating expenses, but they are classified under the provision and contingencies. This is aapka also true. So means 2 and 3 means option B will be right answer for this particular one. So option B. So when it comes to this, it is comes under the other aapka interest expenses, sorry again, and not under this particular part itself. Next one. So which of the following statement regarding the classification of bank expenses are correct? Okay, two other statement. आपका insurance premium paid to DICGC is included under the other expense. आपका it is comes under the insurance section itself, right? So this should be wrong. The another one is depreciation on leasehold properties and lifts is grounded under the depreciation on bank property. 100% true. So only one means option sorry, only two means आपका option B will be right answer for this particular one. So option B will be right answer for this particular question itself, right? Next one. Leasehold properties means like any property आपका, like let's say any building and others आपका, these particular one where we have, see, this is a case of आपका finance lease where we have intent to purchase those particular asset in the long term आपका. So that's why that is something which we are like we will be having the capital things in that particular one, and the depreciation on those particular building and other kind of things apart from the land. Okay, so that generally accounted in that particular case itself. Who asked this question? Prem sir. Next one, guys. So which of the following statement about ALM are the correct one? So first one, ALM involve only आपका management of liabilities to ensure bank can meet withdrawable demands and maintain आपका leak. This is आपका wrong. Focus on matching the maturity profile of the asset liabilities to manage interest rate. So that is something which is आपका correct here. ALM include decision on the type of mix, both asset and liabilities, and align them with the bank profit objective. This is also true. So 2 and 3 आपका again option B will be right answer for this particular one, right? So ALM involve both asset and liabilities, not just आपका liabilities areas in others. Next question, guys. So ABC Bank has recently published annual balance sheet, and you are tasked with reviewing the classification under the RBI norm. Based on the summary, identify which of the following statement are correct uh, regarding the classification of asset and liabilities. So we have these particular transaction: 1200 crores in share capital and reserve, then we have 3500 crores deposit, including 200 crores in overdue term deposit, 1800 crores आपका NABARD for the rural refinance, and 500 crores from RBI under the LAF. Then we have 4000 crore bills payables, including आपका bankers check, 20,000 crores आपका SLR eligible government securities, and 2000 crore in listed debentures. 28,000 आपका extended in advances, which 8,000 crores are secured by tangible asset, 2,000 crore by covering under the government guarantee, and this. So now you have to find out the correct statement. Please go through the statement, guys. Yes, yes. See, Prem sir, when it comes to the आपका finance lease ना, in case of finance lease, eventually the intent, we have two type of lease. One is operating lease, another one is finance lease. In case of operating lease, that is temporary. We are using someone else asset आपका for a shorter period. But when we enter into a finance lease, our intent is to purchase that particular asset, right? So now in that particular case, what happened? कि gradually we generally आपका like it is something कि till the useful life of that particular asset we are paying lesser आपका rent, and after that we are having an intent or right to purchase that particular asset. So that's why that is the case. Ramanji sir is saying option C. Share capital and reserve fall under the capital and surplus, which are long-term sources of funds forming the part of the liabilities. The second one is borrowing from NABARD and RBI, aqua liabilities and non-deposit, not deposit. This is also correct. Advances secured by the bank and guarantee are reported under the secured advances. We have all investment made in debenture are part of the advances. Advances head in the balance sheet आपका, no, this is आपका wrong, right? They are asset basically. Overdue term deposit must be excluded from total deposit, no, this is आपका, this should be wrong, okay? So they are class, they still, even if it is overdue, they still categorize as the your आपका deposit itself, right? So this is also wrong. So 1, 2, 3, very good. So option C will be right answer for this one. So Durgesh sir and Ramanji sir, only two people mark the correct answer. Rest what happened? So this is the only from the balance sheet component आपका, ठीक है? What you have gone through in the morning, and just I have shown you that particular picture also, right? The next one. तो फर्स्ट आपका नियरली 48% ऑफ liabilities आर maturing within the next 9 month while 14% of asset mature आपका in a same period, right? तो see, their liabilities maturing 48% and they have only against that asset are maturing only 14%. So first state आपका. The second one is the bank had recently introduced fixed deposit aggressively, allowing customer to auto sweep ideal balances from saving to term deposit, the vice versa. An unexpected 25 basis point cut in interest rate by RBI, mostly आपका repo, has led to decline in the return from the fixed rate portfolio, while the cost of the some floating rate deposit has not been reduced proportionately. Again, interest rate mismatch here. The audit also found nearly 25% of borrowers are exercise the repayment options during that embedded option that is called, while 15% of depositor opted premature withdrawal. The embedded risk is also faced by the bank. Despite the above, the bank management continue to focus on credit growth. So the rapid credit creation is also there. That means that will be creating some sort of issues around the आपका ALM also. The first statement आपका when it comes to liquidity risk due to maturity mismatch, true है. Second one is reinvestment and refinancing risk arising from the embedded option exercised by the customer. This is also true. Interest rate आपका NIM due to market rate volatility. This is also correct. So option D will be right answer for this particular one. Very good, guys. Awesome. So I guess now everyone got the insight from the balance sheet things and all. Let's go for the next question. Why other people are not answering? Only Durgesh sir, Suhas sir, Ramanji sir, Namrata ma'am, Prem sir, Push. We have Pushpa Kumari ma'am. Okay, other people also try. See, if you will not answer now, if you will not read out the statement and all, how it will help, huh? Rani ma'am answering on YouTube now. Okay, switches from application to YouTube. So now, which of the following statement are correct? For very easy question, we have gone through this. ALM focus solely on matching maturity profile and liabilities to आपका avoiding risk. Apart from this also, we have many other functions, right? Interest rate, credit risk, and others. So a key objective of ALM at the macro level is to support product pricing strategies and the capital allocation. The third one is NIM is calculated subtracting the interest expense from the income. आपका it should be reversed, right? NIM is basically your it is आपका NII divided by total asset. ठीक है, so that is also wrong. So 2 only means option C will be correct answer for this particular one. Next one, guys. There must be one case study around this particular one. So ABC Bank Limited preparing for profit and loss account for the financial year. The following are the financial activities recorded during the year. As a bank analyst, after determining under this particular one, so basically we have these particular situation. 50 crore receive as a interest on term loan and overdraft facilities. 50 crore you have received on interest on term loan, interest on term loan and overdraft facility. 5 crores आपका earn on brokerage, on sale and government securities. एंड लॉकर, 2 crores आपका रिसीव फ्रॉम दी मनी मार्केट placements and interest rate balances, 4 crore आपका profit from the revaluation of held to maturity investment, 1 crore as recovery from the defaulting customer toward the insurance and go down rent charges and others. Now, which of the following correctly categorize the entries in the appropriate head of the bank profit and loss? Very simple, huh? Okay. So when it comes to profit and loss account, we have schedule 13 and 14 आपका, right? 13 and 14, which is all about your the आपका income areas. Like, so we have interest income and we have other income. This is 13 is about interest income and 14 is about other income. So when it comes to the first one, so it is आपका interest income. The first case is आपका interest income, true है. Second one आपका 5 crore brokerage other income. Third one is 2 crore received from money market, again interest income. Fourth one is your 4 crore from the STM, other income. Fifth one is आपका recovery from defaulting in this other income. So all are correct here. So all are correct means option D must be right answer for this particular. D will be right answer in this particular case, right? So interest in advances, which is generally as a interest income. When it comes to commission brokerage in this other income, then we have the third one is your interest RV interbank in this. The fourth one is profit revaluation, आपका gain and others. Then we have आपका miscellaneous income for this particular category itself, right? So these are the different categories and their आपका sub classification also, which is generally mentioned with this particular. So that's why option D will be right answer for this particular one. Okay, chalo. Now let's practice one case study around this particular one. So I hope NII and NIM part is clear to everyone. NII, how we calculate interest income. So interest income minus interest expenses. When it comes to NIM, it is आपका net interest income divided by average total asset of the bank. Okay, so this is your question. NIM is basically a tool. ठीक है, when it comes to आपका रानी मैम, when it comes to NIM ना, so this is something कि we are relating the overall the total asset of that particular bank versus the inflow from all interest and expenses. So that is defining the relation between these two, right? It is not a kind of an instrument through which we are getting something, right? So this is a tool for the bank itself. So a commercial bank provide following information. First, we have cash, credit, working capital loan, which is आपका 12,000, 22,750. And we have average cost आपका or average yield on this particular on this. So in case of when it cost and yield means आपका return. So this is your income. So working capital in this. So this is your yield. If this is some expenses like the term deposit, that will be considered as cost. So that's why both are in one area. Okay, why this cost versus yield? Income, आपका yield, and the expenses equal to cost. So first, how you will calculate this particular one? First, you have to calculate the interest income from the different sources. Then आपका you have income. Then if there is any other income, you have to add that particular one also. Then when it comes to the expenses, interest expended plus आपका operating expenses. Okay, so these two things आपका which you have to calculate from this one, and the difference will be answer for this particular question. Means आपका you will be getting आपका NII and then आपका that NII the differences is equal to NII, then आपका total asset. So total asset which must be given in this, average total asset of the bank is 68,500 crore during that particular period. So how you will be calculating the first one when it comes to this? This is your income आपका, ठीक है. So this is your income portion, means आपका your 22,750 into 11.20, that is the income, interest income from this particular one. Rent, when it comes to the another one, so retail mortgage loan, again income part आपका, investment income part, call in money आपका, that is again in income part, right? Then we have next one is your saving deposit liability. Then we have current deposit liability, bulk deposit आपका liability, reference and interbank borrowing again liability. So this part income, this is your liability. Now here interest income of 96 crore of on certain stress asset remain unrealized and was revised during the year. Then we have processing fee and treasury profit are not to be considered. Then we have average total is income this. So interest on current deposit is your nil. So when we have this particular one, your the bank want to compute the NIM. So what is the NIM approx for this particular bank? Calculate, guys. Just you can write down the figure also here. 2548. The first one is आपका 2548. One three 1306. Eight 34.75. 834.75. Then we have call money. $307.97. We'll consider 90. And then we have a gross in, and this is आपका. Okay. Then income side we have these particular one. Liability side आपका. The growth, the total of this particular one will be it is coming somewhere आपका 4997.35 something, right? So this is your gross income. So this is your basically interest income. Then when it comes to the saving आपका liability side, anyone who have calculated this one? No, no one is calculating क्या? So now we have this. Now there is something which we have to adjust आपका, right? So this is coming 49 in this. We have now first case is interest income 96, so minus 96, right? Minus आपका processing fee is not there. The average total is at this. Okay, minus 96. Huh? Then when it comes to the another part, 16 400. 16 400 into 0.031 508. This is your आपका 508.4. This is 0. The next one we have current deposit, it is 0, right? Then next one we have bulk deposit 18 1900 into 0.075 is equal to 1400 and 1400. No, sorry, I did something mistaken. 75 18,900 into 0.0755, it is आपका 1426. this is आपका 1426.95 and आपका the refinance 6300 into 0.0685 is equal to 431. So 431.55, right? This is the one. So the total is plus 1426.95 plus 508.4 is equal to 23,669. It is coming 23,669 something here आपका. You will be seeing this particular one. Now we have if I relate this particular one, so NII is equal to 4997.35 minus 96 minus आपका 2366.9 is equal to, it is coming somewhere आपका 2534.45 something like this. ठीक है, so something around this. Okay, so divide by your average asset is 68. With asset we do not have any condition. Yes, 500 into 100, so it is coming around 3.69. yes, बिल्कुल सही. So it will come around 3, it is coming around आपका 3.69 3.69 or 3.70, what we can see, right? That means आपका there is some mistake in the options itself, I guess. ठीक है, it will come around 3.70 round off if we take this one, because we have to calculate NIM. The options are wrong here. It will come around 3.70, right? 3.69 or 3.70, correct. Very good. Yes, you got the question, guys. You got the question, everyone, right? So it is आपका, we'll check the solution also. So D, it is around adjusted interest is around this after minusing less this is 4997. There may be some 4997, that is true. And it is आपका, here it is, when it comes to total expenses 2366, it is 235.34 235 2534 2534. हाँ, this is correct. This is a, here it is आपका fine. हाँ, so it is आपका 3.70, right? So 3.70, that is something that will be the NIM for this particular bank. So only one आपका area which we have case study related area from this one. So that is around the calculation of NII and NIM itself, right? Got it, guys? Any doubt with this particular one? So if you are having any doubt, please do let me know. Correct, Anna? Shall we move forward then? Anyone, guys? If you're having any doubt, please do let me know. Yes, हाँ, correct here, Rani ma'am, it is 3.70. That is the right answer. ठीक है, so 3.69 it is coming, 3.69 something. So round off we can do it 3.70. Shall we move forward, guys? Next, okay. Now next one we have your capital adequacy and Basel norm. This is something which we have read आपका in the past also, right? So all these things, if you see the areas, we have your minimum capital requirement, supervisory review process, market discipline also. So that is something where generally comes under this particular one. So three areas, three pillars of Basel. We have minimum capital requirement, CRAR. Then we have tier 1, tier 2 capital, and we have risk assessment approaches. Then we have आपका pillar 2, which includes supervisory review process plus ICAAP. You can expect one question around this particular. This get asked many time in your examination about the ICAAP. What all about ICAAP and the overall documents and others which get asked in the examination. So bank and supervisor responsibilities, which is assigned through the 4 different principle, and methodology outcome आपका we have ICAAP, which is a internal model of the bank, how they are assessing the risk, managing all the risk which are even not get covered under your pillar 1 itself. Pillar 1 which generally covered your market risk, credit risk and operational risk. When it comes to your market discipline, so we have, this is all about the disclosures and transparency. So your disclosure should be clear, comprehensive, comparable, those 5 things. And we have आपका 10 disclosure form आपका which bank need to submit with RBI itself. So that is something which generally comes under this particular one, right? So the areas is minimum capital requirement, which is focusing around these. Pillar 2 supervisory review process and ICAAP, internal capital adequacy and assessment process, which is cover not risk आपका cover risk not fully captured in pillar 1, means this आपका address risk not included in pillar 1, consider external factor आपका, it also promote better risk management techniques to the organization. So these are all the areas which generally comes under this one, right? Market discipline, this is all about the transparency thing, so that stakeholders they can make the right decision about the organization whenever they are entering into some sort of आपका some sort of any sort of relation with the bank itself. So third one, आपका pillar 1, the all the areas this we have discussed, right? The capital adequacy and all. This ICAAP is bit important from this particular part. So please do take care around that one, huh? Now I'll ICAAP I have kept here. Huh. So when it comes to your so pillar 1 is risk management. Same things. Same thing means the capital creation आपका tier 1, tier 2 or these particular areas which you have done in module B itself, right? Day before your study. And then आपका risk weight calculation. ठीक है? So multiplier. Please do remember this multiplier of 12.50%. Usually it is 11.5, but when we are using आपका operational in this, so additional +1 आपका which we generally using in this. So in case of multiplier, total risk weight asset equal to credit risk आपका प्लस मार्केट एंड कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट इनटू 12 पॉइंट दिस एंड आपका ऑपरेशनल इन दिस. तो फॉर मार्केट एंड योर कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट वी आर यूजिंग आपका 12.50%. So the 12.50% is a multiplier that reciprocal of the 8% converting capital charge equivalent to the risk weight asset of that particular one. So please do remember this particular one. Capital risk, market risk and others, the approaches which are generally part of this one. The another one is supervisory review process where we have 4 principle. Bank should, one question you can expect around this SRP process also, huh? This get asked many times. So only 4 principle are there. Bank should have a process assigning the total capital adequacy in the relation of their profile and strategy for maintaining the capital level. Bank should operate above than those particular one. So the another one is supervisors. This is actually in after this just line. Supervisors should bank should above the minimum capital requirements. Supervisors should review the and evaluate the ICAAP and take appropriate action when it is not satisfied. Supervisor also, sorry, this is not आपका this is आपका third to third relation. ठीक है? So bank, it is for bank. These are the combined one. So bank should operate above the minimum regulatory requirement. Supervisor should have ability to require the bank hold capital excess of the minimum. The fourth one is बैंक सीक आपका सुपरवाइजर सीक अर्ली इंटरवेंशन आपका इन केस ऑफ व्हेन बैंक इज मिसिंग आउट विद सम core areas like the core capital requirement and others, so that generally comes under this particular one. So these are the 4 principle which generally comes under this. Please do remember this one. This is something which is get asked in your examination many times, and people undermine these particular principle. They are very very important for you. When it comes to ICAAP, it is not just about the when it comes to ICAAP, this is not just about the your आपका the regulatory capital. It is beyond than that. It is a continuous process which generally help bank to manage their risk effectively. So comprise आपका procedures and measure designed to ensure appropriate identification and measurement of risk, an appropriate level of internal capital in relation to the risk profile, and application further development of this one. So, board oversight is must, review the process, and firm wise application is kind of must. It is a forward looking process, like any integrated risk in the market itself. We are including risk based process, stress test and scenario analysis, and आपका risk aggregation is another tool under this particular one, right? So there is a आपका, when it comes to the overall definition, quantitative as well as qualitative approach, it is not only about the quantitative, it also integrate the qualitative measures आपका और steps to deal with deal with your overall risk involved in the banking business. So there are few other areas reviewing the key ICAP outcome and document structure. So document means a comprehensive paper detailing the ongoing assessment of the entire risk spectrum, mitigate strategies and capital requirement must आपका mention around these particular one. Capital transferability must detail any contractual or commercial, regulatory or statutory restriction on the management, assessment of specific risk, and we have principle of the responsibility. So RBI expect the degree of sophistication adapted in the ICAAP, the risk measurement and management to be commensurate with the nature, scope, scale, and complexity of bank business operate under bank business operation and others, right? When it comes to your the areas itself, right? So we have the discipline purpose itself. So basically, five guidelines for the disclosure. Whenever any bank is disclosing their pictures or means balance sheet, profit and loss account, and other documents, so it should be clear. This also get asked many times. Please do remember these five things. It should be comprehensive, आपका meaningful to users, consistent over time, and आपका comparable in others, right? So these are the areas which generally part of this one. And now we have some आपका reporting requirements, ठीक है? तो disclosure आपका, ठीक है, reporting disclosures. So disclosure form आपका around the portfolio and mitigation and securitization. Please do go through these particular one once and twice before your examination only, right? आपका disclosure related to interest rate risk in banking book, market, operational and counterparty. This is all, right? So there are, I guess, 10 principle. There must be 10. Yes. हाँ. Okay, chalo. Now let's start the practice, guys. So the revised Basel framework is structured around three pillars, with pillar 3 aimed at capital adequacy. Pillar 3 is आपका supervisory review, wrong है. The next one is pillar 2 supervisory review process, SR आपका SRP, require bank to consider risk not fully captured or not fully covered under the pillar 1 along with the certain external factors आपका, that is 100% true. Third one is under Basel norms in India, commercial bank are required to use the foundation internal. No, it is आपका. It is basically Basel 2 is about the, we first of all we use that I basic indicator approach and others, right? Under the Basel 3, commercial bank are required to foundation internal rating approach, internal base rating. IRB is आपका here, and approach for the credit risk, it is आपका advanced measurement approach. For BIA, which is basic indicator approach. Basic indicator approach should be right answer. Na? The third statement should be wrong. For this, it is 100% wrong. This is also should be, we'll check this, the second one. So means only two. Means only two means आपका option B will be right answer. This should come now because this you have read in the past also, right? So pillar three आपका market discipline. The next one is in India, bank must use आपका standardized approach for the credit risk and basic indicator approach for the operational. What was the another one? BIA is for the operational one, not advanced measurement approach. So that is the one, right? Next one. Which of the following statement regarding the supervisory review process, pillar 2, under the Basel framework are correct? So the capital adequacy ratio prescribed under the Basel 1 consider sufficient to cover all type of risk आपका faced by bank. The second one is interest rate risk in banking book, though part of the market risk may not fully capture under the CAR or CRAR. The third one is strategic risk and reputational both consider equivalent to operational risk in the SRP process. Yes, 2 and 3 आपका means option B will be right answer for this particular question also, right? Next one. Which of the first statement was pillar 1 cover आपका only minimum regulatory requirement for credit market risk. So it is आपका stated that additional capital may be needed due to other risk आपका not captured by the CRAR or CAR, right? Next one. So which of the following statement are correct regarding SRP and ICAAP? So first of all, Basel 2 and 3 framework expanded the scope of capital adequacy by including operational risk under the pillar 1, which was not covered under the this. First statement is 100% true. Second one is आपका under pillar 1 of principle 1 of SRP, bank are required to maintain capital only the minimum regulatory provided their internal risk assessment justify. No, it is आपका that is a minimum requirement, right? So it is should be that label or above than that. So this should be wrong here. Principle 4 आपका empower supervisor to mandate immediate corrective action आपका और early remedial action capital fall below this particular one. This is आपका true. So 1 and 3 means option A will be right answer for this one. Principle 1 expect bank to assess overall capital adequacy in relation to their risk profile and maintain strategy to operate above the minimum आपका it is above the minimum capital requirements and all, right? Next one, guys. Every banking entity within a group must prepare ICAAP on a solo basis, but solo plus आपका consolidated. Morning only we talk about this. This is wrong. Then next one is the board of director must approve the structure and content of ICAAP to ensure it become आपका. This is true. Third one is senior management is responsible for submitting ICAAP outcome to RBI. Board will be responsible for this. This is also wrong. So only two. Option C will be right answer for this particular one. Very good, guys. Next one. you can expect one question, at least one question around ICAP. Huh? This is आपका bit important, and the relevancy is also high nowadays. Which of the following statement is true regarding the risk identification, internal control, and MIS with ICAAP? So, MIS should enable proactive risk management by providing regular, accurate, and timely information. The escalation will generally come from the MIS in only, right? So that's why this is very, very important. Internal audit team must assess business line. No, this we have reading from the compliance things. Aapka AVM. There must be a segregation to avoid any sort of conflict. The risk management function should be independent of business line to ensure objectivity and prevent the conflict of interest. This is true. So 1 in 3 means option A will be right answer for this, but A will be right answer. Subhash sir, A. Ramaji sir, C for the. This was very easy, guys. Why so? So MIS system should deliver the real time and aggregate risk. So at the bank level also, this is the responsibility of MIS. What we expect from that management information system. If anything is going wrong, so it escalate promptly so that we can come up with the early remedial action. आपका internal audit must remain independent. This we are studying from the ABM things. Independence of risk management is essential to prevent the conflict of interest itself. Next one, guys. So first one, आपका, which what we have to find out? You have to find out the incorrect statement, huh? Not correct, not accurate. ICAAP must cover all material risk, including those that are not easily quantifiable. This is आपका true. For qualitative risk, आपका ICAP should focus on mitigation of strategies rather than the numerical measure, like the sound practices which are released by BCBS related to operational as well as liquidity risk. Bank may omit आपका risk from ICAAP if they are different. No, this is आपका wrong. So only three. So D will be right answer for this particular one. Easy one, I guess. Right. Next one. So stress testing and risk aggregation. Stress testing is basically similar to that backend testing. Like when we come up with some application, today application become major issue, right? So when it comes to the Aka, like let's say you are launching some application, so before Aka publicly launch that particular one, what we generally do, we do some sort of back testing. Ki like what we want to deliver with that particular one, how and when user will access that particular one, so how they'll be, what will be their experiences and all, right? So that is something which is related to that part. So that back testing is something which is very, very important. Similarly here also, now to manage or mitigate risk, we use different strategies. There's आपका how those model will work in a stressful situation. We generally conduct आपका stress testing around those particular model. Risk aggregation, तो stress testing help evaluate bank exposure to extreme आपका yet plausible market condition. 100% true. If any situation happen, how we are going to react that particular situation. Bank should document assumption used for the risk aggregation and consider the impact of diversification. Scenario analysis are used primarily for the daily operational, no, and not impact the, this should be wrong. So scenario analysis is around the For ICAP, it should be आपका around the capital things, not related to this daily operational decision, right? 1 and 2 means option A should be right answer. Scenario analysis is integral to the ICAAP for understanding the capital adequacy under the आपका stress situation and all. So that's why option A is the correct answer for this one. Next one, guys. Which of the following statement correctly relate to the structure, purpose and application of the ICAAP documents as per the RBI guidelines? So ICAAP document must include an executive summary that compare the bank internal risk assessment with the minimum CRAR requirement under the Pillar 1. ICAAP methodology can incorporate capital buffer based on the strategic plan and credit rating objective. Scenario analysis use ICAAP must consider event with frequency of 3 years और आपका 10, ठीक है, 3 years आपका टू आपका simulate a routine stress and all. Okay, what you guys suggesting in this case? A आपका, okay, well, I'll check this answer because I'm not sure about the statement 3. It is scenario severity is expected to reflect event occurring once in 25 years आपका. So that's why 1 and 2 means C is the right answer. What you guys have mentioned A? No. So आपका C is the one and this is the scenario severity is expected in every 25 years. So that's why it is not 3 years, it is up to 25 years itself. That is something which is related to this one. Okay, guys, next one. ICAAP. Now I'll skip this one. Okay, this is the last question, I guess. Next one. Which of the following statement are correct regarding the purpose and guidelines guiding principle of Pillar 3 disclosure under the Basel framework? So the intent of Pillar 3 is allow bank to attract more capital from the private investor through the marketing disclosures. So capital is not a concern actually for this one. Okay? So it is like basically we present the true and fair picture of the organization. This should be wrong. The next one is market discipline enhance and this is not a marketing one actually. It is disclosure, not marketing disclosure. Market discipline enhance corporate governance and contribute to bank stability. Yes. One of the guiding principle of Pillar 3 is disclosure must be meaningful. So there are 5 principles. One is आपका your disclosure must be meaningful. ठीक है? So आपका clear, meaningful, comparable, those particular. So 2 and 3 means option B must be right answer for this one. The purpose is not promotional but enhance transparency of the risk assessment. So that's why statement A is आपका wrong in this particular case. Next one. The scope, frequency, and format of Pillar 3 disclosures. So disclosure are required to be made at the bank level only when the bank is not the top consolidated entity. Disclosure bank level if they are not having consolidated, this should be right then. आपका bank capital adequacy and certain credit risk disclosure must be made on quarterly basis. This is also correct. Pillar 3 disclosure can be made only in physical. No, we have to publish आपका these particular one along with final result on as well as online. So 1 and 2. 1 and 2 means option C should be right answer for this particular one. Right. Next one, guys. Which of the following are valid principle or requirement under the pillar 3? Disclosure, governance, and validation in confidentiality. Bank must ensure that pillar 3 disclosure are externally audited by no, this is not necessarily right. So there is no mandate around this. Priority in proprietary information may be withheld if its disclosure weaken a bank competitive position. Yes. A validation process should ensure consistency with the audited financial years. 2 and 3 means option B. Sorry, option B will be right answer. External audit is not mandatory unless it is आपका specified by the regulators, right? In case of like where RBI and others they are in doubtful, then only that is आपका required. Next one. Okay. So this question is similar to your module B question, unit number 13, risk weight asset. Again here also. Answer, guys. Now your turn. Tier 1 capital 8,000 crore, Tier 2 capital 6,000 crore. Subordinated debt आपका include in Tier 2 is 4,500 crores, all above maturity of 5 years. Revaluation reserve 1,000 crore. Capital requirement for credit risk आपका it is 1,200 crore. Capital requirement for market risk 300 crores. For operational it is 400 crore. Investment in investment fluctuation reserve is 500 crores. Paid up equity capital reserve free reserve 90% of tier 1 capital. Bank follow the Indian regulatory norms 9% minimum capital adequacy requirement. Based on this above, आपका you have to find out the correct one. So what will be your correct answer? Option A, people are saying. So the maximum permissible tier 2 capital is equal to आपका 8,000 crore. So it is tier 2 capital can be 100% of tier 1 capital. So when it comes to this particular one, it is आपका tier 1 capital. हाँ, this is means आपका true. That second statement is tier 3 capital can be considered while calculating market risk. Now we do not follow that one. Tier 3 is got integrated with tier 2 mostly. Then next one is आपका total capital available for the capital adequacy computation is आपका 14,000 crore. So 6 आपका tier 1 tier 2. So आपका 1,400 crores. This is also true. Easy one. Next one, risk weight asset आपका 1,200 crores. So this is that factor which we are using. So 12.50 crores आपका risk weight asset for these two. 1,200 into up this and 1,200 plus 1,200 plus it is आपका हाँ okay, so it is 1,200, it is आपका sorry, this is basically your credit risk. This is आपका we have 300 crore for market and 400 for the operation. So that factor which was mentioned there, that's why it is for both these two. What was the name of that particular one? I just missed. So it is total. If the outcome is fine, this is means the numbers are which is given here. The way is given up correctly. Capital, the capital to risk weight asset ratio of XYZ bank is above the minimum requirement. So if you calculate this particular one, how much it is coming? So 14,000 divided by आपका 9,950, 9950 into 100. So it is coming आपका 140, right? So it is coming आपका 140. This number is fine क्या or something else? हाँ, number is fine ना? It is 14,000 crore, 14,000 crore, and it is 9,000 this 140.70. If it is above than that particular one, so this is also correct. The 134 1345 1345 means option A only should be right answer for this one. It is 140 only, na? Yes. Okay. A will be right answer for this one. Prem sir, A will be right answer. What was option D? 4 is also correct. Yeah. Why this 4 is correct? That one point I have told you, na, just I'll try to go back to that statement if I get. So that is multiplier. Okay, it is called आपका C. The risk weight asset, this please do add this particular one. The total risk weight asset, आपका credit risk प्लस आपका मार्केट रिस्क कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट इनटू 12.5 this. So this 12.5 is used as a multiplier which is reciprocal to 8% converting into capital charge for the risk itself, right? So that's why this is the correct one. Prem sir, please do remember this one. हाँ ठीक है, this is like we are what we have done कि as per the Basel, if you use that elements which are part of that one, so what we are doing for market and operational risk, we are using a multiplier of 12.50%. That's why that 12.50 multiplier is equal to your 8% converting the capital charge equivalent to your risk weight asset. So that's why we use that 12 point. They have like, though that was not clear in the options key how we are going for that particular one. Just a minute. So it is आपका they should mention around कि capital they just following the sequence. That's it is 1200 crore for this plus आपका 12.50 into 300 crores or this into this. Okay, Prem sir, you got this one or still having any doubt? Please do let. अच्छा, calculation I didn't do, हाँ. Calculate if this is wrong आपका then आपका this. Okay, just a minute. 300, I didn't calculate this particular part. It is coming around 3750. This one आपका plus 5,000 plus 3750 plus. No, it is fine, sir. So it is coming up of 5,000. 5,000 plus this. The total is 9950. This is correct, Prem sir. The calculation is also correct here, huh? The calculation is also correct here. So if you go for this one, the calculation part is also correct in that particular case. ICAIB. रानी मैम all cases, ठीक है, that multiplier we use for all the cases, हाँ, but not on credit risk आपका. The bank must disclose capital requirements separately for these. Bank must provide a qualitative summary of their capital planning approach to current and future. Then आपका credit risk disclosures must include both fund based and fee based, and आपका classified as geography and आपका residual maturity. Next one is CET1, sorry, capital adequacy ratio, CET1, tier 1 and total must be disclosed only at the standalone entity. This should be at APA consolidated also, right? It should be both standalone as well as consolidated. If you have some other entities also, subsidiaries and all. Movement of the provision and NPA must be shown in a detail, including आपका write off, recoveries impacting the income also. So 1 to note it comes under the schedule 18. 1, 2, 3 and 5. 1, 2, 3 and 5 means option C should be right answer for this one. The capital adequacy ratio must be disclosed both for consolidated group as well as आपका subsidiaries itself. So option C, which is the right answer for this particular one. Next one, okay. Now we have asset classification. So they have already asked one question in your आपका ABM paper around the case study, but still there is chances they can ask the question, and this topic is a bit easy also, right? So when it comes to the non-performing asset, one question definitely you'll see around the NPA thing, but earlier in like past four session, they generally ask out of four, at least three times they ask case study around the non-performing asset, right? So there are chances, even though they can come up with a single question based case study for your non-performing asset itself, right? Somebody have raised hand or what? हाँ पुष्पा कुमारी मैम, if you want to say something, please do let me know in the comment section. चलो, तो non performing asset, the basic definition, then we have your asset classification, ठीक है, we have discussed this one, and we have provisioning आपका for standard asset, substandard asset and loss asset. And when it comes to your doubtful asset again, so we have three categories: normal, 25, this I have checked that particular one. Srikant sir is here, so there is aapka no 40% for like when it comes to the loss asset category and all, right? So we have 25, 100 and sorry, 25, 40 and 100. When it comes to the accelerated penalty provision, so it is 40, 100, 100 in second class itself. It is generally following the 100. So this chart is fine aapka, there is no issue with chart. The problem, this is the problematic area because previous one is easy to remember, but when it comes to this particular one for the standard asset, so you have to keep these particular thing in mind. Srikant sir is here, huh, watching silently. Yeah, do not get angry on me, sitting again. So like, see, yeah, I'm actually doing, I'm giving my morning and evening everything entire day on content and all. So like, I just want to make sure ki yaar you guys pass the exam and others. I thought you left the session also. Sometimes people they generally get angry, huh? So like, if you have anything, just call me, just WhatsApp me. But if you say something na at the beginning of the session, it triggered me actually, because I can like that is something ki like I cannot express that particular one. Okay, we'll call you once you will pass the exam. So these are the areas आपका SMA and these kind of things, which is something. And today only I lost my job also. They generally ask me whether you can आपका do these kind of things or you can work. So I chose the this particular one. ठीक है? So I told them I do not care about your job. I'll do these particular things only. So this has also happened today only. ठीक है? Today many surprises I'm getting from the morning itself. And morning I wake up late also. So these are particular things which are generally part of this one. So something which kind of like easy one. So wherever we have easy things which you have done in the past also, that is something which is better scoring. That means we should work around those particular areas. So that is something I'll suggest you go for these particular topic. If something is your strength, just leverage from that particular one. That will help you. Like the thing is, see, I do not have any intent behind these particular things. If it is intentional, na, if there is an intentional cheating, that person do not care. But if I'm intentionally doing something, so it I confront this, I got hurt, simply saying. And YouTube also, sometimes people they write anything aapka, they'll just leave the comment, so there is no point. They do not know what the pain behind that things. Just study, yeah, that is the only goal. And we have to do many things. This is not the final goal, JIB and CIB. Apart from this, also we have many things. Aapka, if you want to grow in that particular field, you can just pursue them. I'll only suggest keep learning things. Then that is the only things which will help us. So, which of the following statement are correct with respect to the classification of non-performing asset? Very simple one. All know answer for this one, but very few will answer. Huh? Ramanji sir saying A. Subhas sir is saying option A. Other people, guys, this is something which is very simple one. So, substandard asset is one which has remained non-performing for more than 12 months, and no, it is not more than 12 months. It is up to 12 months, right? So this is wrong. A doubtful asset is one which has remained in substandard category for a continuous period of more up to 12 months, and this is true. Third one is a loss asset is considered uncollectible and its value is so impaired that the continue as this particular one, it should be written off. If you are maintaining, you have to create a proper provisioning for that particular one itself, right? So easy one. Next one, we will be doing आपका lengthy question for NPA things, and this is something which is very easy. One case study also we will be doing. Which of the following statement relating to the IBC are correct? IBC is in detail in your आपका when it comes to uh, again आपका ABM paper only, ठीक है? So module D is all about kind of IIBC itself. So which of the following statement relating to insolvency and bankruptcy code? The IBC shifted India's insolvency framework from debtor to debtor in position to creditor in position control, allowing creditor to manage the distressed entity. This is true. Under the IBC, only financial creditors, no. आपका financial creditors, आपका operational creditors or corporate debtors, anyone can initiate the CIRP. A memorandum under, a moratorium under the IBC prevent the legal action against the corporate debtors during the CIRP. Yes, once it is initiated, 180 days आपका no other legal cases can be आपका taken against that particular corporate debtors. So 1 and 3. Option A will be right answer for this one. A will be correct answer for this one. What happened? You guys missed this particular one, right? So these are the things from your ABM only, right? So statement 2, CIRP can be initiated not just by financial creditor but also by the operational or even by the corporate debtors also, right? That is something which generally comes under this one. Next one, consider the following statement provisioning norms for advances and you have to find out the correct one. Okay, very easy one. Just remember these one. Let's try. I guess all the standard asset are mentioned here. Doubtful and other also. So loss asset must be written off and provided for the extent of 100% if retained in the book. So first of all, we should write off the loss asset. If we are keeping those particular asset in our book, we should maintain a provision of 100%. Then we have doubtful asset require 100% provisioning for both portion not covered by the realizable security value. This is also true. Third one is the doubtful asset secured for more than 3 years. Provisioning is आपका 25% again. As per the no, it is आपका if it is more than 3 years, it should be 100%, not 25% ना. It will come under the doubtful 3. So it should be 100%. Substandard unsecured asset require a total 25% of provisioning. This is आपका true. The next one we have infrastructure loan classified as substandard require 20% provisioning if proper escrow mechanism exists. This is also true. Unsecured exposures where the realizable security value is 15% of the exposure are treated as secured. No, it is आपका less than equal to it is less than equal to 10%. It should be 10% आपका, right? So the next one is standard asset in commercial real estate. आपका how residential housing 0.75. This is true. 0.75, yes. For loan on teaser initially 2%, then after it come to 0.40. So that should be correct. Advances restructured under the RBI relief measure for the natural calamities. It is आपका 5%. Then we have housing loan at teaser आपका 2% and 0.2. After 1 year, it get reset to 1%. आपका 0.40%. Sorry. So 1245, 1245, 789 means option A only will be right answer for this particular one, right? A will be right answer for this one. Huh? Got it? So it is provisioning 100% for that one. And it is आपका if realizable value is less than equal to 10% exposure is unsecured at 1.50 consider आपका secured itself, right? Next one. So this question we have practiced earlier also. Just I want you guys to answer this question today. There is one another case study आपका. Just let's quickly go through this. Then I'll go to the another one. Answer guys. This is very easy. Total 300 will be for this. Right. So yes, only Suhas sir answer. Rest people, guys. So what happened in this case? Outstanding balance, your unsecured exposure 250 lakh, so 25%, which is 60 lakh. Here आपका doubtful more than 300, so we'll go for the 100% provisioning. When it comes to the next one आपका ठीक है, doubtful 2 years 180 and realizable is this. So when it comes to these two accounts आपका, we will be having 100% of 80 crores, 80 lakhs आपका, and then we have another 140 आपका, right? So this should be 120 lakhs आपका. Then next one, it is the only thing is when it comes to loss given data, 40% means 0.40 from this, and exposure आपका is 0.40 plus 0.40. So that's why 0.80 for 1000 is 32 lakh. So the total will be how much it is? 32 plus आपका 50 plus 120 plus 300 plus 60. So it is 562. 562 means option B will be right answer for this one. Okay? 562 is the total provisioning required for this particular one. Right. So these are the different elements. Let's practice one more question, guys. A bank identify the following irregularities in large consortium advances according to 28 May 26. So we have total outstanding expense 48.480 crores. ECGC आपका available 12% of total exposure. Realizable value of the eligible security after haircut prescribed RBI rules 11 point आपका 5 crores. We have estimated legal recovery expenses 0.95 crores. We have interest suspense not आपका reserve till date, ठीक है, which is 1.75 crores. So out of the principal. So during RBI inspection, the account was classified as loss asset आपका. So what will be the provision for this particular one? Account C आपका. Okay, just a minute, ma'am. I have to come back to that question. So what was your account C? It is आपका doubtful for 2 years. Means we have 180 crore आपका. The total outstanding was 180 crores. So 100 crores was out of, we have secured portion 100 crores, means we have 100 crores का 40%, which is for आपका 40 lakhs, and unsecured portion was 80. In that case, we have to maintain 100%. So 80 plus 40, that's why it was 120 lakh. It is आपका 10, ठीक है? These two आपको 80. So one outstanding is this. Out of this, secured portion is your 40 lakh, means 180 minus your 100. So 100 is at the rate of 40%, and the outstanding 80 is, sorry, आपका 80 at the rate of your the another one, ठीक है? D should be 0.75% of CRE. Which one आपका D? This one, standard asset CRE. CRE is 0.50% or point what we have used in this one आपका 0.40, right? So 0.40. Okay, just a minute, I'll check this one. CRE, अच्छा CRE, standard CRE आपका 5%. Just a minute, sir, I'll go back to that one. CRE, CRE. Advance, say it is 1% only, okay? It is for residential housing, it is आपका 0.75. Yes, 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 हाँ. For residential housing, it is 0.75. For आपका commercial real estate, it is 1% only. So that's why it is आपका 1%. Rani ma'am, you got your doubt? Srikanth sir also. Okay, chalo. Now please go for this question, guys. So asset is categorized as आपका loss asset, means your provisioning will be 100%, but you just have to do this particular calculation. So we have 11.45 minus आपका, these आपका you have to minus from this particular one. It is आपका how much? The recovery expenses 0.95. So it will come around 11.45 minus 0.95 is equal to 10.50. 0.50. Okay, 10.50. System interest expense आपका 10. Then we have ECGC exposure available 12%. So 12% ECGC exposure means 48.8 into 12%. 12% is equal to 5.81. From this we will get how much? आपका 5.86 crore, ठीक है? 5.86 crore. Then next one is आपका overdue. So it is the overdue is this 86. The realizable in this is also done. The realizable value after the haircut is 11.50. Interest suspense not revised till date 1.75. Interest suspense is not revised. Expected recoveries. The recovery portion will be how much we will get from the recovery. It is 11.45. 11.45. Security 11.45. is 10.50 and 10.50. 10.50 we will be getting from this 10.50. 10.50, then we have the another case of the 10.50 which we will be getting from here, and your the next one is 5.86 plus 5.86. Then we have next one. This is coming 16.37. Okay, then we have 37. Second, 8.80 minus we have आपका 16.37. 8.80 minus 16.37 is equal to 32.43. Now we have one, and this is also done. This is also done. Now we have this realizable security. Now this is also done. आपका interest suspense not reverse till date. Interest suspense not reverse till date. So interest suspense, if it is not, it will get added. Then आपका 1.75. 0.75 is equal to 34 point. It should come around आपका 34.18. Means आपका this should be right answer. Huh? How much? 48. How come? It should be आपका yes. Deepti ma'am is saying correct. 34.19. और आप चाहिए. Sorry. Just a minute. Huh? I'll rejoin from the OBS. So when it comes to the overall areas, see what is it. It should come around आपका 34.18. Three areas are here. The first one we have calculated this. So like the realizable value of asset आपका after the haircut, it is 11.50. And when we have to आपका minus the here आपका the recovery expense, so that's why we have eliminated this one, so it came to this number. Now if it comes to this is the one, then 12% of 48.50 which we will be covering from the insurance 5.86, so it went आपका 16.37. When it comes to the another one, total आपका exposure was 48.80 minus 16.37, so it is आपका 32.83 plus आपका see it is not reversible. It is mentioned कि we haven't reversed that particular one, so realizable value of eligible this is interest आपका suspense not reversed till date, so that's why we have added. If it is reversed, we will minus this one, so that's why it is coming 34.18 right? Means the nearby number itself. Correct hai guys? Parag sir and Deepti ma'am and Subhash sir. Other people also guys. Ramaji sir. Subhash sir for this question only, right? Or for the previous one. So it should be option B आपका. So here it when it comes to the areas, 100% provisioning, eligible security was 11.545 less recovery expenses, so we have reached 10.50. ECGC आपका recoverable amount 12% of the exposure 5 point this, so this plus this become आपका 16.356. Then gross unsecured losses 48.80 minus this, so we have reached to 32.444. So add the unreversed आपका interest suspense, so that's why we have achieved to this one. Any question, guys? Done it? Sure. Next question. Okay. Next we have liquidity management. So when it comes to liquidity management, so the basic introduction, and we have the dimension and role of liquidity risk management, and we have measuring and managing the liquidity risk. So liquidity risk was your last topic also in BFM. Liquidity risk and Basel standards around the liquidity risk, right? So liquidity is something key which can create आपका major issues for the bank, right? It is something key like do you remember that solvency versus liquidity? If we have to आपका opt one, so we always go for liquidity because maybe or like in a shorter period, if we are in loss, that loss can be recovered through आपका acting internally or finding out the opportunities. But if once bank face this particular thing, the liquidity crunches आपका, you are like if you're going for the short term things आपका, that will cost you. Apart from that, it is something which will lead to many other risk आपका to the bank आपका reputational and other kind of thing compliances and all. So that's why managing this particular one is very important one, right? Then basically what we want to achieve आपका solvency and liquidity both. But if it comes to the आपका the priority itself, we always choose this because we know the consequences of liquidity risk. Now here when it comes to the type of liquidity risk, funding risk आपका, right? The mismatch, like let's say borrowing for the purpose of lending. So borrowing is something ki we have borrowed money for 1 year, we have lended for 5 years. So there is a ALM gap. So we are expecting ki at the end of first year, once this asset will get mature, they will roll over with us, they will reinvest. All these are the risk: rollover risk, reinvestment risk, interest rate risk, or all these generally dealing with this. So major is आपका funding risk. If there is something which is hampering our the funding side and others, we have time risk आपका, like let's say we are planning ki if nothing happen, we have some other asset which will help us to recover that. We will get money from some assets which are getting mature in same time horizon, and we will be using to pay off that liability. If that asset become non-performing, that is your time risk. Call risk आपका, which is crystallization of your contingent liabilities, right? So like letter of credit and others, distort the entire bank, and how we are generally managing those particular one. Now when it comes to dimension and role of liquidity management, the effective management आपका demonstrate to the marketplace that the bank in safe and capable paying borrowings, enable bank to meet the prior loan commitments, avoid unprofitable sale, lower the size of the default risk premium. Factor affecting liquidity events: decline in earnings and increase in NPA, deposit concentration. We have our downgrading of the rating agencies, expanded business opportunities or the acquisitions. Method which आपका dispose the liquid asset, increase the short term borrowing, decrease the holding of less liquid asset, increase the liability, and आपका increase the capital. So when we have gone through this liquidity thing आपका, right, so there was key drivers. One question for sure you guys will face on the key drivers behind the liquidity risk, right? So आपका internal as well as external. For the measurement purpose, we have two approaches. One is stock approach, where it is based on the your financial ratios. There are 7 ratios. When it comes to the flow approach, it include आपका the areas, the different time horizon. Like RV have given a list. So like आपका overnight, then we have 7 days, or we have 1 month, आपका 1 quarters, year, और आपका these kind of time horizon we generally use. ठीक है, so different आपका areas and how we are generally basically they call time bucket आपका, right? How we are generally making the position around those particular time bucket, right? So flow approach आपका net funding requirement, like we have bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3. So the area is basically calculated based on the residual maturities of the asset and liabilities. These residual maturities represent the net cash outflow during that particular period. Like let's say 1 week. Suppose that आपका liability and asset during that particular 1 week. Okay, so like overall liabilities, overall asset during 1 week or 1 month or 1 year. So cumulative gap in is calculated at various time bucket. Like let's say your liability payables are 100 crores and your receivables are supposed at 150 crore. So we have a positive in the this particular time bucket. Suppose that this is weekly. For let's say 1 year later, आपका things are, let's say it is आपका 5,000 crores and it is supposed that आपका 3,500 crores. So we have a negative आपका 1,500 crores in the 1 year bucket in others. So that is something how we are generally calculating this particular one. Okay. Then we have like this is something like this. So maturity asset, interest receivable in this during 1 day, and आपका day 1 आपका the other side outflow side liabilities in this. So we have a excess liquidity of 140 crores in this one. So that is something how it generally defined. Okay. Subha sir will complete this unit आपका. Then just after that we will be doing that. Okay, that break things. It's very easy actually. ठीक है. So now when it comes to the stock approach, because it is a repetition of your module B only. Same thing again. If you prepare once, it will help you twice in two module आपका, right? So these should be 7 ratios. They seems more than that. I guess here it is they have included more. One आपका 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 also is there, huh? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. So these are the ratios and their आपका interpretations. ठीक है? What, like which side they should be, right? Basically. Then we have RBI also have provided the maturity basket. Bank they have to present that particular one in these particular range. RBI has given a bucket wise classification of asset and liabilities followed by the bank for their structural liquidity statement. These are the guiding factors for banks. All the asset are classified into the following this particular asset and liabilities. They are generally classified among these particular one, right? Next one. So liquidity risk is an extraordinary event that arises only during the financial crisis. It is not only, it can be in any other situation also. Basel 3 introduced the liquidity coverage ratio and NSFR specifically to address the liquidity risk, right? This is आपका LCR short term. This is आपका up to a time horizon of 1 year, right? A bank is considered to have adequate liquidity if can meet आपका increase in an asset, decrease in liabilities promptly and reasonable cost. 2 and 3. Option B will be right answer for this particular one, right? Liquidity is a normal aspect of daily banking operation. Next one, guys. A bank, mid-size Indian commercial bank with operation in domestic and foreign currency market, faces sudden deterioration in liquidity. So now these are the situation, and you have to find out the which type of risk. I guess two more should be there. Okay. I guess this question is incomplete. Yeah. 4, 5 statement are there. I'll just check if I get that question. Statement 3. Okay, just a minute, sir. I'll come back. Which is, I guess this is the first question only, right? Achha, okay. आपका statement 3. Bank is considered to have adequate capital, adequate liquidity if it can meet आपका increase in an asset. And that if you are having 5,000 crore of assets and आपका liability is suppose that let's say 1,000 crores, right? Due to money multiplier effect आपका, right? You have created 1,000 with 1,000 crore आपका, you have created 5,000 crore of liability. Now what happened? Suppose that this is your fixed rate and this is your आपका floating rate. If interest rate will suddenly decrease in the market, right? If interest rate will suddenly come down, what will happen? Like let's say the average borrowing is 7%, average lending is 12%. So we have initial NII of 5%. If interest rate आपका average decline to suppose that 9%, so there will be a major impact on your areas. So what it is saying ki you can create these particular things, but you should have आपका you have to consider these particular factors, you know. So this is something which is around the आपका NIM manage, sorry, ALM management and others. Arvind sir, you got this particular one. So when it comes to a major borrower defaulted on 300 crore loan, turning to the asset into non-performing asset, आपका a major default on the 300 crores आपका turning this. So this is basically your, this will be time risk आपका, ठीक है? So time risk in case of, with reference to this question, time risk. Simultaneously a fraudulent transaction 200 crores discover, sinking public sector. Which of the following type of risk reflect in this scenario? So simultaneously, a fraudulent transaction of 200 crores was discovered, seeking the bank trust आपका, right? Simultaneously, a fraud should come under the transaction of code. So this is five. Okay, we'll recheck this one. Due to the widespread news of the fraud, several आपका bank they generally fraud and led to this particular one. Okay, this can create आपका liquidity, but that is not a funding risk or आपका time risk or call risk. Or most probably we will be categorizing these particular one under the funding one. Now I understood this, ठीक है? So they can impact आपका fund of the overall bank. A foreign bank आपका expecting ABC under the currencies sir fail to receive. This is your call risk आपका, ठीक है? Here it is call risk. Rumor in the internal market led to foreign creditor early demand settlement liabilities and आपका mobilize the forex funds quickly. That is your embedded option. Or आपका again withdrawal of money, so it can lead to the funding. But this question is incomplete, I guess. There should be two more option. Call no, we have only three risk part of this one. Let's check the answer. Okay, answer is also not given here. So the liquidity risk management and your APA correct statement. Liquidity risk management only relevant during the APA crisis, not a normal situation. It is a robust liquidity management structure should include MIS scenario analysis after this. The information of liquid asset into your the transformation of illiquid asset into liquid asset is a central function of banking and आपका affect the liquidity planning. 2 and 3 B should be right answer for this particular one. Next, okay. Answer is missing for that question also, sorry guys. Next one, which of the following statement are the treatment of foreign currency in liquidity management by bank? Bank operating in multiple currencies face complexity in liquidity management due to both operational decentralization and potential information asymmetry. So this is आपका true. A fully centralized liquidity management approach allow each foreign office to manage its own liquidity independently, with no oversight from the head office. ठीक है, this is आपका completely wrong. If a exchange market cease to function, the bank capacity to convert domestic fund into foreign currency become a critical part of the contingency strategy. Yes, 1 in 3 means option A will be right answer for this particular one. In fully centralized system, the head office manages liquidity across the all currencies. Independent control by foreign officer with no oversight refer to a decentralized model, not a centralized one. Next one, guys. Which of the following statement are correct with respect to the setting of tolerance label and the limit for the liquidity risk by the bank? So bank may be required to set or follow limit such as cumulative cash flows mismatch as a percentage of total liabilities over a various time horizon, basically the flow approach. Liquid asset used for calculating liquidity coverage should be based on the book value without upper discounting. Discounting is must upper, right? This is wrong. We use discounting, right, when we go for these one. Limit on loan to capital ratio or loan to deposit ratio are among the parameter used for the managing this. So 1 in 3 means option A should be right answer for this particular one, right? A will be right answer. So sir, not all आपका third liquid asset आपका we have to with a discount the haircut आपका which is a discount is equal to haircut here, right? So you have to remember those. The correct statement related to flow approach and maturity ladder. Flow approach and maturity ladder. Flow approach calculate net funding requirement based on residual maturity of asset and liabilities. Flow approach आपका that is true. The second one is maturity ladder compare future cash inflow outflow over a specific time horizon, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. That is also true. तो like आपका or even 1 day also the inflow and outflow or asset and liabilities during that period. Negative liquidity gap in time bucket implies surplus. Negative gap means आपका it is a deficit not a surplus, right? 1 and 2 means option C will be right answer for this particular one. You got this one? Any doubt, guys? Yeah, very simple one. Negative means आपका your liability is 100 crores, your asset आपका is suppose that 90 crore at any given time horizon. So we have a negative of this one, right? So that is आपका deficit, not a surplus in that particular case, right? Next one, guys. So effective liquidity management help banks selling asset at a depressed price or preserving value of the stress scenario. Second one is a bank with strong liquidity may still face a high default risk premium if capital adequacy is weak. आपका a bank with strong liquidity face high default risk premium. It should not be actually, right? This should not be, because if this is the situation around the risk management, this should be incorrect, right? Monitoring आपका macroeconomics and money market trends play a critical role in managing the bank liquidity position. A sudden increase in non-performing asset can strain the bank liquidity position. That is called your time risk. Selling illiquid asset if preferred first आपका responses to the short-term liquidity need at the typically higher than the market prices. Selling illiquid asset is a preferred? No. We will be selling liquid asset. So 134. 134 means option B. B, Rani ma'am, Durgesh sir. Why D? How come option D? 5 is wrong now. Selling illiquid asset is preferred first response to the short-term liquidity need. So illiquid is what will be your, because you do not have that time also. That's why we have your आपका what it is called LCR. ठीक है? So this is the use of LCR only ना. So we will be using आपका short term. This should be completely wrong. Yes. Illiquid assets are not preferred for immediate liquidity generation due to difficulty in sale and possible losses in value also, right? You will be not getting the fair value for those particular one. So option D will be right answer for this particular one. Okay. Just allow me 1 second. Huh? Next one, guys. So option B will be right answer for this one. So आपका this is strong liquidity position and strong capital adequacy both contribute lower default risk premium, not the higher one. And आपका this is the one. Next one. हाँ, this is the complete question. This is same question आपका that question, because these two systematic risk and instrument specific risk, right? So I'll directly come to the answer itself. It is saying option D only. So when it comes to funding, present the premature withdrawal, non-renewal of deposit in this, time risk आपका NPA वाला case, call risk आपका when currency swap obligation fail, non-fund based आपका exposure crystallize, systemic risk आपका evidence of bank failure impacted other bank आपका and the public confidence was lost if that happened, if bank fail आपका. Instrument specific external risk appear complexities in managing the foreign areas and all, right? So here major default आपका this, if this bank defaulted after these one, it can lead to systematic risk. or instrument specific आपका instrument specific is which quite spread in this simultaneously fraud in this, a foreign expecting ABC currency swap. Yes, so this is crystallization of contingent, so means this is called risk. A rumor of market-led foreign creditors on demand early settlement of liabilities. ABC struggle to mobilize the foreign fund quickly. So instrument specific. So then the last one can be the instrument specific. Okay. So this is your आपका the areas itself. So please do consider this. Avoid the previous one. Which of the following statement regarding the liquidity risk management in bank are correct? This should be 100% right, because module B we have done this particular practice many times. No, Karan sir, that is not required. So liquidity risk management is only relevant during the period. This we have solved, yeah? Sorry. This is आपका wrong. A robust liquidity management structure include this. A transformation of illiquid to this आपका will help the scenario. Board of director need not involve. Next one, a bank should establish dedicated आपका elco for this one. That is also true. So 235 means option B will be right answer for this particular one. Next one, guys. So in respect to tolerance label and limit, correct statement आपका. So bank may be required to set or follow the limit such as cumulative cash flow mismatch as a percentage of total liabilities over the various time horizon. Liquid asset used for calculating liquid coverage. Limit on loan to capital ratio and loan to deposit ratio are among the parameters used in the liquid. No, they are generally आपका loan to capital, limit on loan to capital. They are generally part of ALM. Yes, a bank may require to restrict higher reliance on particular liability category such as high cash deposit in this is again true. uh, an acceptable liquidity mismatch 1 to 14 days or 15 to 20 days time bucket is around 80% of the cash outflow, indicating tighter control on short-term liquidity management. Yes. So 1345 means option C will be right answer for this particular one. Next one, guys. So first one is correct. Maturity letter compare future cash inflow and outflow over a specified time horizon. Third one is negative liquidity. This we have आपका solved. Sorry. The maturity letters assist आपका identifying excess or deficit of funds at a different time आपका interval. The next one is your larger funding gap is this distant period are easier to manage the near term. This is true. Okay? Like let's say if it is in 5 years, it is still we have time. But if it is in overnight or 1 week, it is tough. 1245. The option A will be right answer for this particular one. Next one. Let's wait a minute. Okay. So which of the following statement regarding the cash flow arising from bank liabilities and related liquidity management practices are correct? So bank may assume certain core deposit will stay even in आपका worst case scenario due to factor like reliance on safety net and high switching cost आपका. This is true, correct है, right? The next one is all off balance sheet item are excluded from liquidity analysis. Wrong है. The liquidity stress scenario, wholesale deposit are typically assumed to run off at a earliest possible maturity due to their wallet. A liquidity stress in a liquidity stress scenario, wholesale deposit are typically assumed to run off at the earliest possible. Yes, this is also true. A statistical analysis of आपका demand deposit behavior incorporating factor आपका seasonality and interest rate sensitivity is employed to estimate the effective maturities. Credit line that bank can draw upon during the liquidity crisis are uniformly available and unaffected by cause आपका they get affected. This should be wrong. 134 means option A only should be right answer for this particular one. So off balance sheet item are considered, and credit lines, especially those with material adverse changes clause आपका may not be reliably available in the crisis situation, right? Next one. Okay, chalo now just interest rate management. Let's take a 5 minute break, right? So we have left with only two unit आपका 30 and 31, right? So only two units are left. So it will take आपका another 1 hour for these two units. So 9:30 we will be resuming this particular one. Let's take a 5 minute break, guys. Okay, guys. So the next unit we have interest rate risk management again from the module B. So it is आपका essential of interest rate risk sources, effect आपका measurement. We have interest rate risk measurement techniques, strategies, and the control and supervision. Then we have sound interest rate risk management practices and RBI guidelines. So interest rate risk आपका basically it is with that आपका the different type of risk which generally impact the NII. So they are directly hitting the NII and NIM of the bank. So because like if there is any movement आपका right, any adverse movement in interest rate, so that will be directly impacting your portfolios, bank portfolios आपका. And in short term it is NII and आपका eventually it will change the NIM also. So when it comes to the major risk आपका which is generally part of this one, तो gap और mismatch again that ALM basis risk आपका ठीक है. So sometime what happen कि even if we have perfectly matched the आपका different securities, but sometime they due to changes by the RBI and others they move in some different direction that will impact the overall portfolio. Then we have interest rate position, the overall portfolio from your asset income or from your liabilities outflow. Then we have embedded option also. Just now we talk around this particular one, and morning we have discussed this particular one. Apart from this, we have yield curve आपका, the price risk also, and the reinvestment. Reinvestment, like let's say some asset is generating आपका 12% return, but if we invest those particular one again, they can आपका let's say that asset got mature. If we are reinvesting in some other asset, if interest rate come down during that particular period, again it will be adversely impact the overall areas. So negative impact आपका which is something related to earning perspective one, the traditional approach focusing on the impact of rate changes on accrual or reported earning. Primary focal point is net interest income. Reduce earning, threaten the financial stability, and undermining the capital adequacy and market. Economic value perspective, आपका the new one, which is focus on the present value of all expected cash flows, आपका liabilities and off balance sheet exposure. We generally provide a comprehensive view for the potential long-term effect. Economic value added show cost. It shows cost management of business working capital, and आपका act as a management incentive ensuring continuity of operation. That means we are not only comparing the inflow outflow, we are considering these particular factor also while we are making that particular comparison itself. So interest rate is like the same issue. You have borrowed money at fixed rate and you have landed money at floating rate. So if these options are available with the customers and all, and due to those changes in interest rate, you do have upside up potential also, but when it comes to the risk, those downside potential which is hitting the overall NII of that particular bank itself. Governance again, board oversight or board of director and senior management. This is something which is very important one. ठीक है? RBI guidelines on, like this was not part of your module B, so this is the new thing which rest everything is part of module B, but this is something interest rate risk in banking book which is specifically given in this unit. The interest rate in banking book referred on current or prospective risk to a bank capital and earning arising from the adverse movement affecting the bank position. आपका pillar 2 of Basel 3 regulation, bank must identify risk associated with changing rate on balance sheet and off balance sheet exposure. Excessive interest rate risk in banking book can threaten the bank capital base. RBI currently does not permit आपका holding capital for it is आपका holding capital for securities park in the banking book itself. So enhanced governance is required for this one. Risk appetite, regular monitoring, आपका system for prompt management attention, and we have identification of interest rate risk in banking book inherent to all the product itself. So we are using आपका management direction. Bank must compute this internally selected interest rate shock scenario through आपका ICAAP, historical and hypothetical interest rate stress scenarios, and the six prescribe आपका interest rate shock scenarios itself. Need for the आपका BCBS alignment. BCBS finalized the standard on the interest rate risk on banking book in 16. RBI circular, which generally make them particular one mandatory for the bank itself. So when it comes to before 1970s, the regulatory framework shielded back bank from the interest rate risk, making credit and liquidity risk is the only major concern. The next one is interest rate risk become significant with the deregulation. Exposed bank to market wise आपका things, that is true. Third one is a bank that fund long term asset with short term liability exposed to interest rate risk आपका, that is also correct. Option D will be right answer for this particular one, right? So आपका why option B, D should be right answer for this one, because before this we used to have आपका this deregulation of interest rate around the credit things we introduced during that period, huh? So after this, when this deregulation came, now bank competition is deciding the interest rate or not. D should be correct answer, yes. The option D आपका, which is all the statement which are given in this particular case are correct, huh? Please do remember this one. Next one. So rising interest rate increase the present value of future cash flows from the fixed income securities. No, if interest rate will increase, yield will आपका decrease. So this should be wrong. Theorem, bond theorem आपका. When it comes to effective interest rate management, focus on limiting the variation in NIM due to the changes in interest rate. Yes, only two. B should be correct answer for this one. Rising interest rate decrease, not increase the present value of future inflows due to that particular one. So that's why option B is the right answer for this one. Next one. So bank G, the following आपका interest sensitive position on its balance sheet as on 30th June. Fixed rate आपका home loan 500 crores. Fixed rate home loan 500 crores 5 years. Floating rate commercial loan आपका 300 crores 6 month. Fixed rate deposit 400 crores 1 year. Saving deposit 200 crores आपका reprice, assuming they will be repriced आपका immediately. Then next one आपका floating rate bonds held as asset worth 100 crores 3 years. Bank Z anticipate a sharp upward movement in interest rate आपका over 12 months in this. So which of the following best describe the interest rate risk in आपका Z and likely impact due to expected rate movement? What will be your correct answer, guys? Answer this. So we have fixed rate home, floating rate commercial loan, and we have fixed rate deposit. Okay, just allow me 1 minute, huh? I have to rejoin this. Okay, so option is not around the numbers, sorry. आपका what do you guys suggest, guys? Option A, B, C, D. Rani ma'am is saying option C. Other people, Subhash sir, B. आपका other people also. So B is bank G face negative gap risk in short term bucket. So fixed rate of 5 short term is your fixed rate deposit 1 year आपका 400 crores and deposit this immediately this and floating rate आपका bonds this हाँ बिल्कुल 100% first आपका because there is no asset getting mature during that particular period, right? And we have bonds आपका, though we have bonds which is 100 crores आपका, only bonds is the option for us. But even if you go for the value also, if you go for the immediate आपका, there is shortfall. If you go for this time bucket, this is also a case of shortfall itself, right? So that is something which generally comes under this particular one. Then next line is आपका which will hurt, हाँ, so option B, what is C? G phase आपका positive gap. No, this is C is not the right answer, right? B was for अच्छा okay. For this one, C is not a आपका. It is about which of the following best describe the risk आपका, ठीक है? Why we are not going for C, Ramaji sir and Rani ma'am? Why we are not going for C? It is about the risk आपका, हाँ. B definitely we have long term bucket आपका, we have a positive one. Bucket is not exposed to immediate आपका, देखिए C is which is a positive side आपका, right? For the bank we have to find out the risk. B only should be, any other option now. Z positive gap in short term, this is completely wrong. Z phase no gap, it is आपका completely wrong. B should be right answer then for this one, huh? Okay, so sir you got 1 marks आपका bonus marks. So when it comes to 0 to 1 year bucket, the interest sensitive asset आपका या floating rate 300 deposit आपका commercial loan 300 crore and 100 crores, so 400 crores. Interest sensitive आपका liabilities 400 plus 200 600, so we have a this, and I guess the explanation is also wrong क्या, this is 1 year 6 month आपका 400 1 year 1 year आपका if we go for 600, हाँ this is आपका correct. And fixed rate loan floating rate bonds आपका 100, there is some number wrong क्या, we have this 300 400 when it comes to the areas, and when it comes to fixed rate deposit 400 200 600 saving deposit 400 200 600, this is fine. And आपका हाँ this is correct, ठीक है? ये 1 year time bucket आपका, if we create 1 year time bucket, so the risk is in the case itself. Rani ma'am and Ramaji sir, you got your answer. Why option B? Because the question is around the risk आपका, not the overall gap thing. So that's why option B should be right answer for this one. Next one. Next one, guys. So ABC Bank preferably match upper gap position. This is this. So now the situation in the interest rate fixed rate आपका 1.75, while the interest rate on fixed deposit is आपका 1.25 over the same period, right? So which of the following best explain AB risk in ABC Bank exposed to and why? So what will be your correct answer? Subhash sir is saying option C. Rani ma'am is also C. What is C? Basis risk आपका, because change in interest rate on loan and deposit was not proportionate to this one. Correct है? Option C only will be right answer for this particular one. Next one, guys. ABC Bank have a positive net interest position with significantly higher value volume of interest earning asset compared to आपका liabilities. Recently, market interest rate have fallen sharply. During same period, ABC retail borrowers opted to repay their fixed rate home loan, and noticeable number of depositor premature withdraw in this. Now, this will create the problem for the bank. Which of the following risk likely ABC Bank will face in this scenario? Would it affect the bank NII? Yes, it will affect, right? So, which will affect the bank NII in this case, guys? Very easy question, huh? Very easy question. Manoj sir, आपका with which reference? Inverse, you are asking? Uh, you are asking about the inverse or what something else? So net interest position, आपका a fall in interest rate will reduce NII to structure ABC bank balance sheet, right? If this will happen, see, if you'll go for this question, what is the situation? Higher volume of interest earning asset. Okay, let's say they have 500 or 5,000 crore asset, and आपका liabilities are supposed at 3,000 crores, right? This is the case आपका, right? So these are the two areas. Now during the same period, many of आपका, अब now what happened? These assets are going for premature. These assets are going for the prepayment. Sorry, ठीक है, that embedded option वाला case prepayment, and these are going for the premature, right? So now what will they are leading due to this one? What happened in this case? Usually we lend at fixed rate and आपका floating rate. So earlier whatever NII we are having now, that will create a issue in this particular one. So the loan noticeable number this and fix in this. What is the mean of interest rate differences on fixed rate asset? Interest rate differences. See, this is the relation of actually, like this is borrowing and this is your lending. So the difference is basically like this is a case of, if you are asking question around this particular question, so this is a kind of a case of embedded option. Okay? So what happened in this particular one? Ki if interest rate in market will fall, it is something ki if interest rate is what it is saying ki a noticeable number of depositor premature withdraw their fixed deposit, taking advantages of newer or more scheme of other bank आपका, ठीक है? They are generally shifting money from your bank. So one problem bank is going to face, asset आपका they are getting uh, like the premature things will create a funding risk for the bank. Now we'll first go through the assumptions. Which of the following risk are ABC Bank likely to facing under the given scenario and would affect the bank NII? So first of all, a net interest position, आपका net interest position, a fall in interest rate will reduce the NII due to structure of ABC Bank balance sheet. Just Manoj sir, I'll come to your question. Just a minute. ABC Bank a positive net interest position, significantly high volume of interest earning asset 5,000 crore, and it's compared to this. Recently, market interest rate have fallen sharply. So now what happened? Aapka, if interest rate is came down, let's say it is 11 to 9, it came down, right? So what these will do, they'll go for prepayment and they'll go for आपका premature. So noticeable number of deposit premature, their fixed deposit, taking advantages of newer or more liquid scheme. ठीक है. So now net interest position, a fall in interest rate will reduce the NII. Fall in interest rate will definitely reduce the NII, right? Because now if it is like, see what in normal tendency, what happened if we have given rate at fixed rate and if both are going, basically this logic will not get applied here. If both are going for premature, so you will be having, this will come down and this will come down, it will directly impact the area itself. So A should be right answer for this one. Ni means option A is correct. Embedded option risk, premature of loan and premature of withdrawal reduce the आपका this particular one, this is also correct. Credit risk soar since customer are prepaying, no, third one is wrong here. ठीक है. Why third one is wrong? Because customer are prepaying, ठीक है, they are not defaulting, right? Third one is wrong here. तो one and two means आपका option C. Back to the another question. So this is आपका, this without any doubt this answer will be option C itself. Prepayment आपका, it is not a kind of a default, so there is no credit risk in that particular one. Previous question was ABC Bank has perfectly matched position, perfectly matched gap position. Means let's say this is a case कि they have raised deposit like आपका borrowing or liability of 1 year and they have created asset, let's say 5 years, and they have created with this borrowing an asset of, suppose that 5 years. They have given loan for 5 years. This is a perfect match. अब asset and liabilities scheduled to reprice at a same time, 5 year. However, during the recent shift in interest rate आपका environment, the interest rate on its fixed rate loan, ठीक है, they have given this loan आपका at fixed rate, आपका term loan increases 1.75%. This is linked with, however, during the recent shift in interest rate environment, the interest rate on the fixed rate term loan increased by 1.5%, while the interest rate on fixed deposit increased by 1.25%. So we have a gap of 1.75 and minus 1.25. This is the one. So we have 50 basis point in this particular case. So now which of the following risk? Up, see what will happen in this particular case. Basis risk, because the change in the interest rate on loan and deposit was not proportionate to despite match and repricing schedule in this. Up, what will happen? Let's say the value is 1 crore. After 1 year, it is something ki after 1 year, if we are rolling over this deposit, we will be, earlier it was supposed that 7%, 7% both were 7%, 7%. Now if we will be roll over this particular one, it will be at आपका 7 plus 8, 8.25, right? So it is fixed rate आपका terms loan is increased by 1.75, and it is, no, this means there should be आपका wrong here. So the interest rate on this in the same period, which of the best explain the risk ABC exposure and why? If we because the change in interest rate on the loan and deposit was not proportionate despite the matched repricing schedule. So it is, this should be then, where I'm going wrong, guys. Okay, I'll go to the answer now. Even though the bank has matched gap position, the rate of asset and liability did not, as per, if I'll go with this one, this is a profit situation actually, but here it is आपका, even though the gap has, we do not have any reinvestment risk here. We do not have any reinvestment risk, right? Reinvestment risk is not there, right? How can we reprice the fixed rate term? No, it is something key for a same period. Like let's say we do business कि if this will get आपका rollover, तो we have to roll over at आपका 8.25%, एंड इफ वी विल रोल ओवर, इफ वी क्रिएट एसेट आपका इन द मार्केट, it will be at 8.75%, right? So this is at reinvestment wise, this is a positive position, but I just want to check the application. So this diff, even though the bank has matched gap position, the rate of asset, आपका loan and liability deposit did not move in the same magnitude. The differences is आपका in the interest rate between loan and deposit is basis risk, which arise from the imperfect correlation in the movement of the different financial instruments. But here it is आपका, see, this example is not correct, because if we will go for this particular one, this is a case of reinvestment, and in reinvestment आपका it is a positive side, because this is the number I have taken right now. The interest rate on the fixed rate loan, term loan, is 1.75, and deposit, if which we are, this is your liability, this is your asset, this asset is आपका load side. Reinvestment wise it is fine, right? Reinvestment wise it is a profitable position for the bank, because after 1 year, even if we are, the customer is rolling over with the bank, we will be receiving deposit at this, and we will be landing at this particular one. So this is a positive scenario. But basis risk is something which is not directly, it should not directly related to this one. We went, there is some information missing. Basis risk is basically, we have multiple port आपका multiple instrument in our portfolio, which we were expecting कि they will move आपका parallel, but if they are moving in different direction, that is something related to this one, right? So नहीं, it was around risk only, ठीक है? Which of the following best explain the risk ABC bank is exposed to? Actually it is about the risk only आपका, so that's why liquidity risk, because bank, this is not market risk आपका basis, or other risk, there are, we do not have any possibility also, but basis risk is something कि it is not merely related to these particular one. Impact come on the interest rate, but interest rate impact is something की which is आपका the different instrument, how they are behaving and how they are impacting your interest rate, and the behave, we generally expecting कि आपका all these instrument or the condition will behave in this direction, we will not have a like situation like this, and it will parallelly manage the interest areas also. So Saurabh sir, I guess there is some issue with that particular one. Reinvestment wise, it is a profitable situation for the bank. Okay. Chal. Now the next one, guys. So next one, आपका ABC Bank have a positive net interest position, higher volume interest rate earning. This question, okay. आपका interest rate bearing liabilities, same area. Recently, market interest rate have fallen sharply. During the same period, ABC Bank retail borrowers आपका repay this. Okay. So now this is आपका, I guess, same question. Number of depositor, premature the withdrawal, they are the fixed deposit and others. Okay, this is the area. So now, which of the following risk आपका the bank can face in this situation? Liquidity risk, premature withdrawal could create a mismatch. This can be market risk, decline in interest rate, reduce the value of it. This should be both आपका ना. So both should be right answer for this particular one. So C will be correct answer for this particular one. Right, guys? Next one. Which of the following statement regarding the RBI guidelines on interest rate risk in banking book are correct? So interest rate in banking book can affect the bank earning and bank value of equity due to changes in timing and present value of cash flows, right? RBI permit bank active trading in securities held for this. This is not allowed. Bank must assess behavioral pattern of non-maturity deposit like saving and current account, appropriately bucketing the interest rate sensitivity. One in through A and A should be right answer for this particular one. Yes, yes. Manoj sir, answer is yes for your question, right? So when it comes, that is a basic theorem आपका. When interest rate increase in the market आपका, so bond prices will decline in that particular situation. So bond prices or interest rate are inversely related in the market itself. Consider the following statement regarding measurement of interest rate risk in bank. So bank must measure interest rate risk to understand their extent of risk exposure and to design appropriate risk management strategies. Bank आपका interest rate risk measurement system should आपका on and off balance sheet both. Measurement technique of interest rate risk range from basic method like simulation, advanced आपका these particular one and three. Again, option A will be right answer for this particular one. Previous question आपका just a minute, I'll go back to that one. Decline in market interest rate reduce the value of the asset bond holding. This is fine now. अच्छा ओके ओके सॉरी सॉरी इट इज आपका मार्केट रिस्क डिक्लाइन इन मार्केट हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल करेक्ट करेक्ट गुड कैच आपका डिक्लाइन इन मार्केट इंटरेस्ट रेट विल इंक्रीज द वैल्यू ऑफ बॉन्ड होल्डिंग ठीक है दिस शुड बी इनवर्सली रिलेटेड यस दिस इज रॉन्ग सर बिल्कुल करेक्ट है ए ओनली वन विल बी राइट आंसर फॉर दिस वन वेरी गुड कैच so it is आपका market affect the bond portfolio valuation during the rate set and they are generally inversely related. A will be right answer for this one. There is no explanation around the downgrade ना loan हाँ this is 100% आपका A will be correct answer for this one. Okay चलो next one guys. Which of the following are the characteristics of or limitation of gap analysis measuring interest rate? So a liability sensitive gap implies earnings may fall when interest rate आपका rise. The another one is your it consider the sharp sorry it consider the spread variation between the interest rate and its calculation. Spread variation is get ignored. It should not be part of gap analysis. But I remember this. It assumes simultaneous pricing, repricing of all position within a time band. The next one is positive gap indicate asset sensitive exposure, more asset than liabilities. It does not reflect the changes in the timing of payment due to आपका interest rate movement. Yes, this is also correct, right? So 1345 means we do not have अच्छा भी option D should be right answer for this particular one. So आपका gap analysis ignore the basis risk आपका spread variation and all in this particular case. Next one, guys. Now, actually, that market risk, na, Apswa sir, with market risk, they have mentioned around the. Achha, okay. Just a minute, huh? You just go through this particular question. Further explanation was also there, okay? Then that statement actually the in front of market risk that statement is mentioned na, that is decline in market interest rate reduce the value of bank bond holding and thereby affecting the capital adequacy. It should be wrong. The statement itself na the remaining overall NII if you directly take with NII if we do not consider the statement आपका then it is fine but if you consider the statement आपका then it is wrong because interest rate and the bond value they are always inherent like they are always inversely related to each others. So the correct statement with respect to strategies of controlling interest rate risk in bank, reducing the maturity of the investment portfolio is a strategy. It should increasing आपका not reducing, right? If we go for the reducing the maturity of investment portfolio, if you all be आपका reducing it, it should be then liability sensitivity, right? Or increase the another option is increase this one. Aggressive bankers increase the interest rate gap if they anticipate a rise in interest rate आपका. Liability sensitive can reduce the increasing long term deposit. This is also correct. Risk averse banks always aim to fully match the repricing as not fully match आपका, right? That should be wrong again. They prefer but not fully match. It is even not possible. Using आपका swap and financial future or allow bank to has exposure. This is also correct. 235. 235 means option B will be right answer for this particular one. ठीक है, so option B will be right answer. Risk averse bank prefer a match book, but a full match आपका repricing is not possible in this particular case. Okay, I'll check that question, huh? I'll check that question again. Which of the following statement are correct? Describe the sound interest rate risk management practice in bank. No, sir. Tomorrow is 7 o'clock. No classes there because we have done with all the units. So tomorrow evening I'll do at 7 o'clock. Huh? One important आपका the numerical portion आपका we will be going through all the numerical portion आपका important in the past itself. Revision is very very important, guys. So the board of directors should approve interest rate risk management strategies and receive regular update on the bank exposure on such risk. Senior management primarily responsible, board is responsible. Interest rate risk measurement and control function must be functionally independent and involve आपका position taking activities. Third one is your a sound risk interest rate risk management framework require periodic review of policies and procedures to ensure continued relevance and effectiveness. Interest rate risk report submitted to senior management should include only aggregate data, maintain confidentiality, and avoid excessive operational burden. This should be wrong, right? So 134 means option A will be right answer. Report should contain both aggregate and granular data detail to enable the assessment of the sensitivity risk itself. So that is something which generally comes under this particular one. Next one we have RAROC and profit planning. So it is about two things. One is profit, the sixth component of profit, income आपका versus expense, and the another one is the economic capital, which is your RAROC. So bank are commercial entities, this. So when it comes to the area, six component आपका, these are the six variable of profitability. Achieving optimal profitability require maximizing first three आपका, these three, interest income आपका, fee based income and आपका trading income, and आपका minimizing the later three, so interest expenses, आपका staff expenses and other operating expenses. But the statement seems आपका very easy, but it is very difficult because if you will increase आपका any of this, if you will try to increase any of these, this will automatically get increased, right? So how we are making the strategic decision so that we can ensure the profitability that is generally part of this particular one, right? So this is your profitability. The profitability is something ki how we are generating income from the different areas, like income from the आपका interest income from lending, और आपका basically deposited advances in securities investment, fee based services. This is the core आपका team with existing branches or staff or resources. This is something which help us to generate more revenue for the banking, or these two आपका, right? Because this is something which require the foundation or the branch cost and many more things. Expenses आपका interest expense, that is the one. Then here we can do some sort of cutting in or some sort of management around these one. So these two jointly create your profitability and all. So how you are managing these particular variable, and how you are आपका making sure the profitability itself. So it is all about the decision. Risk aggregation and capital allocation. So bank develop internal process to assess the capital need, the risk profile, business plan, and quantitative and qualitative risk factors. Beyond the minimum regulatory capital, bank must evaluate the internal capital adequacy and future capital need for the different business line and the product itself. The Basel framework emphasizes the capital adequacy relative to the economic risk, which is vital for the long-term soundness of the bank itself. So for this, we have RAROC. Now you remember RAROC. RAROC a tool basically where what we are doing, it is helping us to find out the risk at the those 8 business line 1 to 8, or under business line we have subcategories and activities. At the activity level आपका this will help you कि if you are entering into this particular आपका position, so what is the overall risk involved and how much capital charge for that particular one. So based on that particular assessment we are making the decision. RAROC, earlier we used to have that we also we have ROA and ROE, but the limitation of ROA and ROE is at the whole organization level, but this tool will help you at the activity level itself, right? So RAROC allow business stream of the financial institution to evaluate on an equal footing by matching the revenue cost in this. It is a methodology follow. First, आपका risk measurement involve the direct measurement of portfolio exposure, volatility of the assets, and the correlation of the risk. Capital allocation require the choice of the specific confidence level and time horizon from the VAR measure. Mathematical choice आपका translate directly into the require economic capital, which is your capital charge against those risk weight asset. Performance management, the final step is require the adjustment of performance to account for the risk capital deployed in that particular case itself. So how we calculate the economic value measure आपका, it is, so economic EVA is one another tool आपका. EVA is similar to your EVA is kind of a substitute your RAROC, but the problem with EVA is it only consider the cash flows, right? It does not consider the risk up, right? So economic value added focus on the absolute creation of value during the particular period, excess of the required return on the capital. It is आपका residual in economic profit of a business line or a product. So profit minus capital into K. K is defined discount rate on that particular one. Cost of economic capital allocated to specify activity itself. So assuming the entire worth of product or project is captured by the EVA framework, a higher EVA directly translate a better or more visible things. So, sorry, EVA, what I've told you, please correct this one. Okay. EVA is basically the overall performance measure of the from this. That was EAR. Sorry, I just get confused with EVA and EAR. That is called earning at risk. Earning at risk is a kind of a substitute to your आपका RAROC, but it ignore the cash flows. ठीक है, please do erase that particular one from the mind. EAR should come आपका. So EVA is economic value added by that particular transaction. If we are integrating we are entering into any transaction, like let's say if we are creating an asset in our portfolio, so how much profit it is going to generate minus capital in this. So that is something economic value added by that particular asset. RAROC आपका one tool. RAROC is most widely used for the risk aggregation and capital allocation. It enables comparison of all business line on a uniform basis. Differences between expected losses and unexpected losses. Expected losses आपका covered by the provision in this. Unexpected losses required capital allocation. Use आपका VAR and worst case scenario आपका method to eliminate the risk. Match आपका revenue, cost and risk over a defined time period. So basically it work around the profit we are going to generate, the cost involved and the risk in this. So risk, return and capital. Risk is measured through the variability of income, frequency, distribution or standard deviation. Capital is allocated based on the risk and volatility. Riskier activities must generate higher return, and आपका risk is aggregated, priced and managed through the capital allocation. So that day one only in module B, there was a chart around this risk, आपका return and आपका capital. So this work around this particular thing. This is the core fundamental of risk management, and the core difference from ROA and ROE is they are doing that management at the organization level. This is at the individual आपका individual transaction level or even business line. EAR, it is similar to RAROC, but it relies more on cash flows, variability in earning rather than the capital allocation. Basically, EAR method आपका it also help you at the transaction level, but it ignore the capital allocation. It is focusing more on the inflows. Use historical data to estimate the return distribution. आपका outcome which is worst case scenario और आपका statistical measures standard deviation. Bank set आपका limit on the maximum potential losses in others. Directly linked to the current earning impact. Ignore valuation charges in asset and liabilities due to interest rate movement. Realize subjective assumption about the risk scenario itself. So mostly nowadays, like we are using your आपका what it is called कि your RAROC things and all, right. So RAROC, which is the tool which is most favorable, and because see it is something situation that you will get to know after this, like before entering into the position itself, we are assessing that particular one. There must be one exam. This is the one. So two forex traders आपका they earn 10 million आपका profit. One is forex trader, notional 100 million, annual volatility is 12%, and risk आपका capital VAR is 99% confidence level, 1 year normal distribution. So 100 into 12 into 2.2, which is आपका 28 million, which is they are generally doing. RAPM आपका risk adjusted profit measure is 35.7% in this. Bond trader आपका the another one. Notional investment is just double of this. Here we are investing 200 million. Volatility is very less because it investment are fixed kind of 4%. Then we have, if it comes to the overall investment आपका outcome, and RAPM is the overall outcome final income from that particular interest. So that says means that this generally show कि the risk allocation how it is. Basically we have this is आपका less risky, this is high risky आपका instrument, and if they are generating same thing, so this is most preferable because we are generating आपका risk free return in the case B itself, or that is called your bond itself. So it is used for the risk management, capital allocation, और आपका performance management as well. NAFID is also given in this particular unit. I don't know why they have given this one. Last subtopic of your 35 unit आपका, that is NAFID. One another DFI, domestic financial institution, to helping the infrastructure, long-term infrastructure and development project. So it is आपका operational differences, standard bank. It generally do not provide any loan in this. Funding sources for आपका infrastructure and all these kind of activities in this. So 2021 we passed NAFID Act and we established this particular organization. So which of the following statement are correct regarding the profitability and income expenditure management? So a higher proportion of investment in government securities generally lead to improved interest income. If you'll be having higher proportion in government securities, it will generate the lower money. So this is wrong. आपका treasury income, though potentially high yielding, speculative in nature and can lead to significant losses if not supported by adequate capital things. Non-performing asset negatively impact both income generation and the capital adequacy also. 2 and 3, B should be right answer for this one, right? So what's that? Option B will be right answer. First one is wrong. No? High proportion in, like if your bank will keeping high proportion in government securities, they are secure, they'll be generating आपका lower income in this. ठीक है? आपका this part is fine, but they'll be generating आपका lower income in, right? Because the interest rate on these particular deposit is comparatively low. Next one. Which of the following statement are correct in the context of risk aggregation and capital allocation? So bank using RAROC approach differentiate between expected and unexpected losses, allocating capital primarily to cover the expected losses. Capital is for the unexpected, आपका right? Capital is for the unexpected, and for expected we have provisioning. Okay? For this provisioning and for this is आपका capital. So this should be wrong. The RAROC enable bank to assess the performance across the different business line using the standardized measure. This is true. Under the RAROC approach, the capital allocation is linked to the standard deviation frequently distributed return. This is true. 2 and 3, again option B will be right answer for this particular one. Correct here. Next one, guys. One numerical is there. Okay, please go through this one, guys. So RAROC, economic capital in RAROC. RAROC provide a more risk sensitive measure of performance compared to traditional. This true है. The risk capital RAROC account only market risk and ignore the operational in this. Wrong है. Then we have it capture all the risk. Bond traders, despite trading larger volume, may demonstrate आपका better risk adjusted return than the forex one आपका due to आपका volatility things. This is also correct. EVA calculated आपका profit minus what was it was profit minus capital into K आपका right. So it is capital by the discount. हाँ true है. And reflect the value of creation on this. This is also correct. Next one is RAROC methodology. The process of capital allocation and independent of confidence level. No, it is not independent. We have to integrate this one for the calculation of bar. 134. 134 means option B will be right answer for this particular one. Right, next one, guys. So a company has following financial information as on 31st March 26. Capital employed आपका 800 and आपका 50. EBIT earning before interest and taxes 1 lakh 168 crores. Debt to equity ratio आपका 3:2. Pre-tax आपका cost to debt is 9 point cost to debt is आपका 9.2%. ये they have raised आपका money at they have taken debt on 9.2. So EBIT आपका 168. Okay. Then we have beta 1.2. A risk-free rate of return 10-year government securities is 6.9. Expected market return is आपका 13.7%. Corporate tax rate is this. So you have to calculate the EVA, right? So क्या EVA is equal to profit minus, you have to आपका profit minus your capital charge, and profit minus capital, profit minus capital into discount, right? Profit minus capital into discount. Cost of equity is how much? This is the EBIT 9.2% after tax. So it is the case. Okay. Anyone who want to solve this, I'll just go to the answer, huh? Otherwise it will take time because there are lots of calculation in this. Tomorrow we will be doing one another set of questions similar to this. So how we have solved this? Calculate cost of equity using CAPM model. Cost of equity is equal to risk-free rate plus beta into market return risk-free rate. So which is 6.9%, which was given in your question itself, government securities, plus 1.25%. 1.25% is beta into 13.7% risk-free rate, market return and risk-free rate. 13.75 minus 6.9. 13.75 is your आपका expected market return, right? 13 return minus आपका discount is 6.9. So it is आपका reach to 15.4. We'll discuss this particular question in next session. Huh? It will take आपका 10 minutes to discuss this. So basically first they have calculated equity, cost of equity. Then आपका after tax, this is easy, right? 9.2%. So it is the areas amount. Calculate the weighted average cost of capital, cost of equity plus cost of debt. Total आपका cost of equity plus cost of debt. So it is आपका 10.30%. Then net profit after tax. So EBIT minus 1 minus tax rate. It reaches to this number. Calculate the capital charge employed into weighted average cost of capital. And EVA is आपका net profit after tax minus capital charge. This is आपका this. We will be discussing this particular one in the next session. It will take bit time. Okay, chalo. One last question. Which of the following statement regarding the evolving banking landscape and financial institution in India are correct? Deregulation in Indian banking sector began after the recommendations of 1991. Indian banking आपका it started with 1991 Narasimhan Committee. The committee was formed in 1991 and it get implemented in 1992. So please do not get confused with this year. This statement is fine. Since small finance bank and payment bank are categorized as DFIs, differentiated bank, RBI framework, this is also correct. DFIs like NABARD function as a commercial bank. No, they do not accept deposit and all. Merger in public sector bank include amalgamation of Bharti. This true है? How this question came here? Indian bank आपका increasingly focusing on profitability, innovation in product and technological upgradation. This is also true. So 1245. 1245 means आपका D will be right answer for this particular one. Option D is the right answer for this particular one. Right? Okay, so this is all about your 31 unit. So in last 4-5 days after, we have tried to go through or revisit all the 31 unit. Now I'll suggest everyone, please do revise things after, right? Revision is very important. Now you do not have to watch these particular videos and all. Just revise with the concept PDF. I have compiled the important areas also. The morning only I have shared with you, right? So you can keep that particular one handy also before your day or before your examination also. So you can revise that with that particular one. another one is your आपका the modularized PDF for the question practice, right? So I'll not suggest आपका watching these particular videos because they'll consume your lots of time, right? So now I'll see you tomorrow class timing 6:30 p.m. so we can finish early. Yes. Tomorrow आपका yes, for me it is fine. ठीक है, I do not have any class आपका now in the evening. So for me it is fine. If you guys are okay, I can do it. Huh? PDF to revision in concept part. Manoj sir, I have shared that PDF in आपका the group chat itself ना, so you can pick from there only. All the four module are compiled, so you can go through those particular one. And for the module wise also you can refer with the question wala portion, what we are doing in the evening session. So that is the one. Both आपका done है, Manoj sir and Subhash sir and others. 6:30 you guys will come home आपका, or you will be still in branch. Tomorrow session it will take आपका mostly 3 hours, so 7 to 10 we can cover up. We can cover up, but I'm free. If you want, I can take that particular session. Okay, chalo. So this is it from my side, guys. Thank you for joining this session. Thank you for watching this session. Now I'll see you tomorrow at same time, and we will be uh, doing some sort of आपका case studies. The steps are involved in those particular one, and like we'll give one efforts आपका toward the those case studies and others, so that you can at least remember the steps and all, and you can, if you get some exact type of case study, you can solve at least 4 to 5 case studies you can expect in your BFM paper, up to आपका 30 marks, right? So that is something that all 30 marks will not be in numericals, it will be based on the statement and other things also, right? Chalo. So this is it from my side, guys. Thank you for joining this session. Thank you for watching.